The hum of the servers was a constant low thrum in Alton's ears, a sound as familiar and comforting as the distant drone of cargo dirigibles over Karakoram or the ancient, almost mythical resonance of the steppe winds carried on the air currents outside the command center's climate-controlled environment. Alton, a young Tamachi overseer, felt it like a pulse, the lifeblood of the Great Yam Net flowing through the core processors and fiber conduits stretching across thousands of kilometers of the Eurasian landmass. A small, smooth river stone, polished by centuries of water flow and passed down through his family, rested on the edge of his holographic console, a tactile connection to the physical world his ancestors navigated. His lineage traced back to the administrators of the ancient Yam system, keepers of the Khan's messages and goods, and he felt a deep, almost genetic connection to the vast, interconnected infrastructure he now monitored. His command center, a marvel of modern modular construction resembling a cluster of interconnected yurts built from reinforced composites and smart fabrics, was anchored high in the Pamir Mountains, a nexus overlooking a critical cross-continental hyperroute and its parallel data network. From this vantage point, he commanded a panorama not just of the physical landscape, but of the ceaseless flow of information and goods that bound the great Khanate together. On his console, a display shimmered with the network topology of Karakoram, the capital city. As he checked its status, he saw the real-time data streams representing its pulse, the regulated air quality reflecting the advanced climate control taming the steppe environment within its walls, the silent glide of automated solar vehicles along avenues designed like the spokes of a wheel, the graceful drift of cargo dirigibles, their hulls adorned with stylized golden eagles between structures that blended yurt, palace, and temple. May 2025, Karakoram stood not just as a city, but as the vibrant, high-tech heart of a vast empire whose lineage stretched back to the thunder of hooves across Central Asia. He often thought how different it must have been for his great-great-grandfather guiding caravan logistics over muddy trails, or his grandfather, a yam rider facing blizzards and bandits. His battlefield was made of light and code, yet the duty felt fundamentally the same. The key to the Khanate's longevity lay in pragmatic unity and adaptive innovation, lessons hard-won over centuries. Unlike historical empires prone to internal strife, the Khans following Kublai Khan prioritized maintaining the structural integrity of their vast domain. The ancient Yam system, a network of mounted messengers relaying information with astonishing speed across forbidding distances, became the blueprint for a sophisticated administrative and intelligence apparatus. In the 21st century, this evolved into the Great Yam Net, a comprehensive digital nervous system managing data flow, surveillance, logistics, and administration across constituent Khanates like the revitalized Khanate of Kipchak, inheriting the Golden Horde's legacy, the Khanate successor states, and the former Yuan territories. This federated structure allowed significant regional autonomy, respecting diverse cultures, languages, Mongolian for court and military high command, Turkic dialects, Persian, Slavic, East Asian languages widespread, and local governance styles, while demanding unified allegiance, tribute, and, crucially, military cooperation under the Great Khan's authority in Karakoram. Major threats, from Timur's incursions in the 14th century to later pressures from consolidating European powers, were met not with division, but with unified, technologically adaptive responses. The Khanate integrated knowledge and technology from its subjects: Persian engineering for sieges, Chinese bureaucracy for administration, Turkic horsemanship for elite cavalry, now often blended with advanced personal tech, without losing its core nomadic identity or military flexibility. The sustained peace and security on the Silk Road and other overland routes under Khanate control significantly altered global trade dynamics, delaying and reshaping European maritime exploration and leading to complex geopolitical interactions with powers like a differently evolved Europe and powerful neighbors like China and India. Control of strategic choke points like the Caspian Sea and the Pamir Mountains remained paramount. By 2025, the Khanate controlled vast swaths of Eurasia, linked by technological marvels. The Golden Road Network, a system of hyperspeed magnetic levitation routes, crisscrossed the continent, linking resource extraction sites in Siberia to manufacturing hubs in Persia and bustling cities like Karakoram with unprecedented efficiency. Logistics and communication were paramount, driving innovation. Material science developed lightweight, durable composites for rapid construction, seen in everything from modular urban housing to Alton's semi-mobile command center. Military technology emphasized speed and versatility, high-tech armored vehicles for varied terrain, advanced reconnaissance drones replicating the Hawk and Eagle's Eye, and elite mobile strike forces blending ancient riding skills with cutting-edge personal gear. Culturally, the Empire was a vibrant tapestry where traditional arts and horsemanship blended with futuristic design and technology. Imperial festivals celebrated both ancient nomadic heritage and modern achievements. Religious tolerance remained a pragmatic necessity, with diverse faiths coexisting under a watchful central authority. Even environmental stewardship had become critical, with reforestation, conservation, and renewable energy initiatives, solar and wind powering much of the infrastructure, reflecting a learned respect for the vast but often fragile ecosystems under their control. Alton's control panel displayed real-time energy yields from wind farms on the Kazakh steppe and solar arrays in the desert regions he monitored. Alton's daily work was a constant process of monitoring, analysis, and low-level intervention. His console wasn't just screens, it was a multi-sensory interface of holographic maps, data streams, and tactile controls. He interacted with the AI, its interface a fluid, responsive network of calligraphic scripts and data visualizations through voice, gesture, and integrated haptic feedback, a seamless blend of human intuition and machine processing. His training emphasized knowing the feel of the network as much as the data it presented, recognizing subtle shifts, detecting anomalies that pure algorithms might miss. His routine began like any other day. He ran through the standard diagnostics, checking node stability, verifying encryption protocols, monitoring traffic flow against predicted demand. A minor alert pinged a maintenance drone reporting a potential dust buildup on a solar array segment along the Golden Road near Bolkash. Alton confirmed the report, cross-referenced it with local weather forecasts, and authorized a remote cleaning sequence for the drone. A 5-second task, quickly confirmed by the AI. Another alert. A slight atmospheric turbulence predicted over the Tian Shan hyperroute section. He rerouted a few civilian cargo trains to lower altitudes as a precaution, a few more seconds of swift, efficient work. It was problem-solving on a massive scale, but usually consisted of managing predictable variables and minor deviations. He was monitoring the priority data channels, the express lanes of the Great Yamnet reserved for Tier 1 communications, military orders, high-level diplomatic traffic, critical economic data, emergency reports from the Khanate's far-flung borders when the anomaly registered. The packet, designated K9, originated from the Khanate of Kipchak and was routed directly to the Imperial Palace in Karakoram. Its status light on his display was green, indicating it was traversing its assigned path, but its latency reading began to climb. Not a sudden spike, but a slow, steady increase, like a rider slowing unexpectedly in deep sand, or a crucial message delayed by an unseen obstacle. The river stone felt cool and solid under his thumb as he focused on the data. Alton zoomed in on the packet's path, tracing it to Relay Station 7 Gamma, a small, automated structure designed for resilience in extreme environments located deep in the Karakum Desert. These stations were vital pulse points, boosting signals across vast, empty territories. His initial query was routine, automatic. AI, report status of Relay Station 7 Gamma. Query high priority Channel 3 performance at node. The AI's voice was smooth, neutral. Relay Station 7 Gamma reporting nominal function. Local environmental sensors report green. Latency increase attributed to probable localized atmospheric distortion affecting high-frequency transmission. Alton felt the first prickle of unease, a cold spot in his gut. He checked the localized environmental data himself, not just the AI summary. Satellite thermal imaging, nominal. Atmospheric pressure and composition sensors, nominal. Local seismic activity, quiet. There was no dust storm, no unusual solar activity, no predicted weather event that matched the profile of interference strong enough to cause this escalating latency, especially on a shielded Tier 1 channel. And the station's internal diagnostics claiming green felt wrong. It didn't match the data he was seeing. Something is wrong. This wasn't routine. This wasn't predictable variable management. this was a disruption that felt deliberate. The slow, creeping latency was like a subtle pressure, a growing blockage in the Empire's digital artery. His hand hovered over the console, the familiar hum suddenly feeling less comforting and more like a vibration of warning. The small river stone felt heavier now. This was the moment the routine broke, and the true work of the Tamachi, the deep intuition honed by generations of keeping the paths open, began. Alton stared at the discrepancy. Nominal environmental reports from the station, yet undeniable, escalating latency and data corruption on a critical channel originating precisely at that station. This wasn't a technical glitch. This was a problem with intent. His mind immediately discarded trivial causes. Bandits sometimes tried to interfere with civilian nodes for ransom, but never a Tier 1 channel, and never with this level of cleanliness. The station itself reported green. He initiated a deeper, more intrusive scan, moving beyond standard diagnostics. On Level 2 anomaly detection protocols on Relay Station 7 Gamma, bypass standard reporting, directly access raw sensor feeds, spectral analysis, passive energy readings, subspace flux detection. Compare raw data against reported status and network baseline. He felt a heightened tension, a physical manifestation of the digital search. This level of analysis was more resource-intensive, less discrete. The AI processed the complex request, executing Level 2 protocols, direct sensor access authorized. Data discrepancy confirmed, Tamachi. Raw spectral analysis shows anomalous energy spikes matching interference profile originating externally to Station 7 Gamma. Passive energy readings indicate a localized, artificial source. Subspace flux stable, indicating no immediate reality distortion event. Artificial. A cold certainty settled over him, sharper than the mountain air. Analyze signature profile, Alton ordered, his voice tight. Compare against known connate, allied, and adversarial emissions databases. Hypothesize source nature and capabilities. The AI's response was swift, data flowing across the display. Signature profile does not match known connate or allied emissions. Weak correlation to historical adversarial signals, specifically pre-unification era border skirmishes, greatly amplified and refined. Hypotheses 1, advanced covert jamming technology, potentially military grade. 2, unknown energy emitter affecting high-frequency transmission. 3, activity related to forgotten or clandestine pre-connate technology. Statistical probability remains low, but signature novelty is high. Forgotten technology. Alton froze for a fraction of a second, the cold dread intensifying, replaced swiftly by a jolt of awe. That hypothesis, usually relegated to the bottom of the list, the stuff of old tales whispered around digital campfires, felt terrifyingly real now. The signature was novel, unlike anything in their vast databases of modern tech, rival nations, or even historical anomalies. It felt alien, operating on principles he couldn't immediately map to known physics. The weight of potential consequences, not just for the packet, but for their understanding of the world, pressed down on him. He thought of his ancestors, navigating passes where ancient empires had crumbled, carrying messages through lands where forgotten powers had once held sway. The digital steppe, it seemed, held its own ruins, its own potential for long-dormant forces to stir. The feeling of facing an unknown, hidden adversary mirrored the tales of lone Yam riders evading Tron raiders or Gene patrols. His battlefield was made of light and code, but the challenge, keeping the path open against a hidden threat, was fundamentally the same. The latency on the K9 packet continued to climb. The AI projected its estimated arrival time in Karakoram, the numbers ticking steadily upwards, pushing past the estimated deadline Alton knew this priority packet likely carried. The clock was running. He had to get the Kashyyyk on site, but he also needed more data, now. Waiting felt like failure. And why was this thing interfering? Why this relay station? Why this specific high-priority channel? What was its purpose? The questions knotted him, adding another layer of tension to the crisis. AI, initiate Stepfox Protocol Digital Probe Variant, Alton decided, the words a controlled breath, the river stone clutched tightly in his hand. This was a risky tactic. The probe would attempt to trick the source of the anomaly into revealing more about itself by simulating specific network traffic patterns, but it also made his nodes slightly more visible, potentially drawing unwanted attention. Configure probe to mimic standard Tier 1 traffic response. Monitor energy signature fluctuations in source upon interaction. Maintain maximum stealth. Doubt flickered, the weight of responsibility, the potential risk, but the mystery, the unexpectedness of it, compelled him forward. What would my grandfather have done? Charged ahead? Or found a hidden path? He chose the hidden path, the digital probe, gambling that the need for information outweighed the risk. Executing StepFox digital probe, the AI confirmed. The display showed a complex sequence of data packets being subtly woven into the background network noise directed towards Station 7 Gamma's affected channel. For a tense few seconds, nothing changed. Then, a flicker on the spectrum analysis, a slight, almost imperceptible shift in the anomaly's signature, a subtle digital twitch as it reacted to the simulated traffic. It was brief, but it was a response, and the AI registered a corresponding low-level, non-standard energy pulse emanating from the source, as if it were defensively probing the simulated traffic. Anomaly response detected, the AI reported. Signature fluctuation confirms artificial nature and indicates reactive programming or direct control. Counter-probing detected against simulated traffic packets. Source demonstrates limited analytical capability. It's reacting. It's not just a dumb jammer. It had some level of awareness, some basic processing power, enough to recognize the probe and respond defensively. And if it could probe the packets, could it eventually trace them back? The thought sent a fresh wave of cold dread through the command center. His isolated station in the Pamirs felt less secure, less remote. The why echoed louder. What could an ancient intelligence want with a modern data packet? Compile all data, Alton ordered, his voice grim. Signature analysis, response pattern, localization. Prioritize transmission to Regional Kashyyyk Command, Tier 1 Emergency Channel. Include explicit warning regarding suspected artificial intelligence or reactive programming and potential threat to monitoring nodes. Add hypothesis concerning pre-connate technology and potential strategic intent targeting priority channels. He didn't hesitate this time. The risk to his node was secondary to the threat this anomaly posed to the entire YAM net, the connate's central nervous system. A secure comm window opened, displaying the sharp features of Commander Batu, grizzled and stern. Tamachi Alton. Status? Commander, Alton began, relaying the updated findings concisely. Anomaly confirmed artificial, subterranean source at 7 Gamma. It reacted to my probe, shows signs of reactive programming, possibly autonomous. It also counter-probed, Commander. There's a potential threat of network tracing back to observation nodes if its capabilities escalate. Signature analysis suggests potential pre-connate origin. Its targeting of a Tier 1 channel implies strategic intent, Commander, not random interference. We don't know why. Batu's expression tightened visibly. Reactive? Tracing? Pre-connate? Strategic intent? A rare glint of concern flickered in his dark, sharp eyes. This is beyond simple interference. The Kashyyyk unit is dispatched, ETA 30 minutes. Tier 1 alert transmitted to Karakoram. This packet? K9. Its contents are critical. The deadline is tight. Is there any possibility of routing around it? Alton immediately pulled up network schematics, his fingers flying across the console, tracing alternate paths, assessing node loads, calculating potential delays. Possible, Commander, he reported, the complex routing scenarios blooming before them. There are several redundant paths, but rerouting a Tier 1 packet of this size through lower priority nodes will add significant latency, at least 20 minutes, potentially more due to security re-encryption protocols. It will miss its deadline on the primary route. The digital step had many paths, but only one express route. 20 minutes. Batu muttered, his gaze distant for a moment, clearly weighing the implications of the delayed packet and the unknown nature of the threat. Can you attempt the reroute now in parallel with the Kashyyyk approach? Send the copy, keep monitoring the primary. Initiating reroute sequence Golden Eagle, Alton confirmed, naming the protocol after another symbol of swift, high-altitude movement. He began the complex process of packaging the delayed K9 data into a new, heavily encrypted container and injecting it into a convoluted sequence of secondary nodes designed to bypass the affected sector entirely. It was a painstaking digital journey compared to the direct line, a desperate measure to ensure the vital information reached Karakoram, even late. While the rerouted packet began its slower traverse, Alton kept his primary focus on Station 7 Gamma. He deployed a series of passive spectrum analyzers in adjacent sectors, hoping to catch any faint spread of the anomaly's signature. He also increased the defensive posture of his own node, running continuous security sweeps, tightening firewalls, feeling exposed despite the physical remoteness of his location. The tension was a palpable thing, a coil winding tighter in his chest. Time stretched. He watched the Kashyyyk unit's tracker on the map, a small symbol moving steadily across the desert towards the pulsating red anomaly. He imagined the Kashyyyk riders and dismounted specialists, their high-tech armor gleaming, their senses heightened for physical threats in the unforgiving landscape. Their ancestors had cleared the physical paths. Now they would face a threat that manifested physically but originated. Where and why? After what felt like an age, the Kashyyyk unit arrived at Station 7 Gamma. Alton watched their progress via drone feed, and the new data streams their presence added to the network overlay encrypted comms, localized sensor readings. The Kashyyyk secured the perimeter, their thermal scanners sweeping the empty sand. They approached the station itself, their weapons raised. A new comms window opened, showing a Kashyyyk specialist helmeted, his voice slightly distorted by comms filters, reporting to Commander Batu, with Alton included in the feed. "Commander, we're on site. Station 7 Gamma appears physically intact. No visible signs of forced entry or external device attachment." Alton held his breath, the river stone slick in his hand. "Request scan of the subterranean anomaly source indicated by Tamachi Alton's data," Batu ordered. The specialist nodded. "Deploying ground-penetrating sensors now. Initiating spectral analysis of subterranean emission." More tense moments passed. Then the specialist's voice crackled with surprise, tinged with awe. "Commander, the sensors are detecting a structure beneath the sand. Extensive, metallic, non-standard signature. Readings indicate materials and energy principles that don't match known alloys in our catalog, sir. The spectral emissions violate expected energy principles. Deep underground, it's emitting the energy profile matching the anomaly. It's ancient, sir. Readings suggest pre-Khanate construction, and the energy fluctuation just stopped. As soon as our high-level sensors locked on, it's gone silent." Alton stared at his console, a wave of shock, then awe washing over him. Pre-Khanate construction. A structure older than the Empire itself, hidden beneath the desert, built of impossible materials, following forgotten principles. And it had gone silent the moment it was detected, like a hidden beast retreating to its lair, or a probe that had completed its task. This wasn't just a jamming signal or a rogue device. This was something deliberate, ancient, and now potentially dormant again, but its presence undeniable. It confirmed the wildest hypothesis, amplified by the sheer strangeness of its nature. This threat wasn't from a rival nation or internal dissent. It was from the Earth itself, from the forgotten depths of history. Far more unexpected and potentially far more dangerous than any external enemy. He continued to monitor, his eyes fixed on the map. The red pulse over Station 7 Gamma had faded, replaced by a static red marker denoting the confirmed subterranean anomaly. The K9 packet was still making its slow, circuitous journey through the rerouted path. The immediate crisis at the station was perhaps over for now, the interference gone, but the mystery had just begun. On the vast holographic map of the Great Khanate, The marker over the Karakum Desert seemed less like a simple network fault, and more like a newly revealed, ancient, and forbidden rune, pulsing silently beneath the shimmering, modern lines of the Great Yamnet, a symbol of deep history stirring beneath the surface of their technological age.